Hello? Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. What you got
Hi,
going on over here, boo? What's your name, mama?
my name is Tia.
Tia, where you calling me from, boo?
I'm calling you from Hollywood, Florida, but I
Hollywood.
recently moved to Oakland Park, so that's a little more closer to Fort Lauderdale.
So where do you live now?
Oakland Park.
Oakland Park. Oakland Park, Florida.
Yes,
Okay. How old are you, lady?
I'm 31.
31. What you do for a living?
I am in telecommunications sales and I trade part-time, so those two things right now.
Okay, I want maybe the light is fine. It could be my light. Okay, you have any kids, Tia?
No kids.
No kids. What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Virgo. I think I have what I need. Tia,
Mhm.
Hollywood, Oakland, Florida.
Yes, Oakland Park.
Oakland Park, Florida. No kids. Is a Virgo, she said. Telecommunications. 31. All right.
Yes.
What kind of man you looking for, mama?
I'm looking for first and foremost a man of God. I'm very active in my church. Because I'm originally Jamaican, people in my church in Jamaica classify me as an evangelist. So the reason why I've basically been single so long is because that's always been a breaking point. So he has to be a man of God. He has to be active in the church. He has to be tall. I'm 5'7", so I like men that are tall, preferably like 6 foot and up. Preferably black. He has to be intelligent. He has to have motivation, drive. He has to want a large family. I guess I have a list, but yeah, so he's got to be on my level in that way. Someone that can pray with me, someone that is not against going to church, someone that's open to all kinds of people. Because just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean that I'm not accepting of other people, because everyone's journey is different. I'm not into those Christians who are, hell and doom and all that stuff. So I just got to have someone that's more aligned with me in that way.
Okay. Could he have kids already?
I don't want to date someone with kids. No, that's actually a deal breaker for me because I want my husband and I to be basically each other's first and only in that way.
Okay. Let's do your deal breakers. What are your deal breakers?
My deal breakers is someone that would be agnostic or atheist because, as I mentioned, I'm very active in my church. I actually just graduated from theological seminary earlier this year, so that's an absolute deal breaker. Shorter men, I have love for you, but not for me personally. Um, he would be someone that's unmotivated, like if he's living with his parents, not trying to do better for himself. Someone who's not dedicated to, being a husband and being a father. Someone who just wants to see what happens. Those are all deal breakers for me.
Just curious, since you're so heavily in the church, are you looking for the men that in your real life that go to church already?
Yeah, and it's funny because in my church, a lot of them are married, even like the younger ones, like the people in their early 20s in my church are married. So I don't know if I missed the boat the couple of years that I lived in Philly and everybody in my church just like linked up, but this is where I'm at right now.
Okay. Now, this might seem invasive. Are you practicing celibacy till marriage?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want to share how long you've been celibate for?
I've been celibate, honestly. At the beginning of this year, I was at about the 14-month mark. And I do want to be transparent and say that I did end up slipping up. But subsequently, since then, I've restarted my celibacy and I'm going into about 7 months at the top of the year.
And is the goal marriage or relationship?
Marriage, 100%.
Marriage.
I'll be 32 next year. So that would be
Okay.
best birthday gift.
The best birthday gift. When's your birthday?
September 7th.
So you would like to meet somebody and get married by your birthday of next year?
That's a little hyper optimistic, I would
Well, you
say.
said it was the best birthday gift.
It would be, right? I mean, if it just all aligned and I met the perfect person, I was ready like yesterday, Kendra. So with that, I would say I want to at least be fully in a committed relationship with my person by then.
Does
So
he have,
that would be best.
sorry to cut you off. Does he have to be celibate too?
Yes, I'm actually glad you asked such good questions, Kendra. Yes, he has to be celibate too. And here's why, super briefly. Because when I've dated men in the past, which is exactly why I slipped up, they'll say out of their mouth, "Oh, I respect what you're doing, da 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 da," but they don't have any checks and balances for themselves. And because of that, we're all tumbling off the side of a hill. So, yeah, absolutely.
Well, the rest is the reason I asked that question because the assumption is this: when you're dating and not in a relationship yet, you should make the assumption that whoever you're dating is probably dating other women, right?
Mhm.
So celibacy, although I respect the decision, I had a whole movement for teen girls that I created called Abstinence is Cool. So I understand and I agree with it. But here is the challenge, right? You really want to meet a man who is actually on the same path because three things, well, I said three. Let's see if it is three. I was gonna say three things can happen. One, you can meet a man who is not celibate, no, who respects you being celibate. It will date you, but will date other women and have sex with them.
Mm.
Two could be the guy that challenges you, that feels as though, okay, I know you're saying you're celibate. I'll go with you on this journey because I don't believe you're really gonna wait to marriage. And then maybe after a few months, when he realizes that you're serious, is going to leave. I don't know why I said three. I guess the third option is the option you really want, which is the man that is has this plan for his life already. So you guys are just in alignment, and he's decided he wanted to be celibate, not because it's what you desire, but what he also desires. So that's the guy I think you should really focus on.
Yes, I agree.
Now,
Option
let me
number
say
three.
this. Now, let me just give y'all the harsh reality. I have
Mm,
had men on my show that have said they're celibate. The
mm,
women don't want those men. So what's happening is I have met men on the show in the course of 4 years of dating. Well, I take it back. One guy who was young, Carlito, he was young. He's practicing celibacy. I think he was a jazzy guy. So he
mm.
might be the exception to the rule. But most of the men that have been on the show who are practicing celibacy, the women generally don't want them.
I can understand why some of them appear as if they're celibate, not
Well,
to
I
be
just feel
shady.
like let's just keep it real girlfriend talk. A lot of these men that give big D energy, like that's their superpower, right?
Mm,
And they're the man that, can have sex without, those are the situationship men. The men that women don't require relationships with because they just want to be around that man because he has big D energy or he has money or he has swag.
mm,
Like that guy usually never settles down because he doesn't have to. He's going to get women just because of his looks or money or whatever the case may be. So
yes,
I'm going to pray for you. But I always say this, and I've been saying this a lot lately. I love that you guys come on my show, but don't negate your reality as your first dating pool. I want my show to be your second dating pool because the likelihood of you meeting somebody in your real life that you align with is more likely. So don't ever negate your first dating pool. So as you are doing your ministry, as you're going to these church events, like be open minded to the men that you can meet there too.
absolutely. I wish we had like more of those type of events at my church. Like we do them every now and then. We
Go
got
to
a
a
couple of
different
things
church. I
coming
mean,
up.
all churches have events, child. Let me tell you, I have been to church all my life, and I have a couple of churches that I subscribe to, and they all got events. So you don't have to be held down to your church. Like, know about other church events and single nights and things of that nature. You got to be engulfed in that world because that world is very important to you, correct?
Yes. And the only thing I would say about that, Kendra, is I don't go to church on Sundays. I go to church on the Sabbath. So preferably I'd want someone who does that too. I'm not Adventist, but I do observe the Sabbath. So with that entire process as well, it's been my whole life, right? I'm super used to it. But when I deal with a man, he's just like, okay, so Friday to Saturday night. Yeah, it's the whole thing. So that's why I'm always kind of like thinking about my church. And I was like, maybe I should broaden my pool, go on
Girl, you
Kendra.
got to meet somebody in the church because now you ask you do you gotta go to church on Friday and Saturday nights. You just gotta meet a man in church.
I
You
was
gotta
gonna
meet a man. You have to meet a man in your world because I'm not saying it's impossible, but you have a lot of restrictions. And the
yeah,
more restrictions you have, the smaller your dating pool is gonna be.
for sure.
So I mean, shoot, women trying to drag men to church on Sunday. Now you gotta
Mm,
get them to church on a Friday and a Saturday night.
we don't go on Friday night. We just observe Friday night. But yeah, I get what you mean. Get him to change his life.
So what does he have to do on a Friday night?
So the Sabbath is from Friday night to Saturday night, so sunset to sunset. So what we do is we don't like go out, we don't cook, like so it's
He
just
needs to
basically
now. Let me ask
something
you this: he has to subscribe to this. Could this be your mission that he's not into, or you want him to be into it?
I want him to be into it. And that's
Oh,
actually been the reason why it hasn't worked out with my exes because they are basically going from, a complete 180 in their persona. So great men, great guys. I would honestly say I haven't had the issue of picking incorrectly in that sense. It's just the things that matter to me don't tend to be, that factor for them. So,
okay. I resonate with religion because I'm very respectful that of people's religious beliefs. So I never try to challenge it. But I feel bad sometimes though because I almost feel like y'all be looking for Jesus, and Jesus
no,
ain't human.
ma'am. I'm far.
Jesus ain't human, and to give anybody the level of Jesus perfection will keep you single.
Hmm. I agree, but I'm not looking for Jesus 'cause I'm far from perfect. Far from.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Let's do the Kendrick Cam, Tia.
Okay. Hopefully this phone don't die on me. Okay. Let me see if I can get it like right here. Because I'm in the process of packing. I'm going on vacation, so everything is like all over the place. But okay, I think
All right,
that's
we see you, Mama. Okay. So are you telling me you're a pastor? Yeah, you're going to school for that?
no, I went to theology school
Okay,
and what I did was I specialized in like pastoral care, church management and things like that. But
gotcha.
I'm an evangelist. So an evangelist, an apostle, it's gonna be my specialization to do church planting, missionaries or missions and all that good stuff.
Okay. Did I ask you if the guy has to look a certain way?
Ah, yeah, he's gotta be fine. He's gotta be tall. Preferably a black man and in shape because I am actively starting to go back to the gym. I recently lost 30 pounds, so I'm back on.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
He has to be fine?
Fine. With a capital F. Yes, ma'am.
Why
Fine.
does he have to be fine?
Because that's my preference, Miss Kendra. I like good
So
looking
you
men.
want a
And I
fine,
do.
you say you got to be tall too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
A fine, tall man who's not having sex till you get married, not going out on a Friday night, in church on a Saturday morning. That's what you're looking for.
Yes, ma'am. That's
Do
the
you know this
looks.
man at all?
I've met men like him, and the worst part is, Kendra, they're always either engaged or married or in a committed
Oh, they're
relationship.
already taken. Okay, okay. So you do know this man, but he's just taken.
Yes,
Okay.
or committed to ministry because I met a couple of men like that who are mini Jesuses, as you described, and it's almost as if they don't need a woman. They're going to take the Apostle Paul methodology of life, and they're good. So hey, I don't want to force anyone to do anything either. So.
Okay. What about money? He got to make a certain amount of money?
I would prefer for him to make as much as I do. Currently in my commission structure, it's uncapped. So I would say since this is my first year in telecommunications, I'll make probably about 70 to 80,000. So I'd want him to match me for that.
So we want an 80K,
Yes.
fine, tall man, not having sex until you get married, has no kids already, understands on Friday nights it's the Sabbath. We go to church on Saturdays. This is the man we're looking for.
Yes, ma'am. It sounds so restrictive when we say that. Yes,
I want
Miss
to repeat.
Kendra.
I like to repeat back people's requests so they can hear it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When was your last relationship?
My last serious relationship was in 2017.
Okay, we know you've been celibate. You already told us you slipped up, but celibacy is the goal. What are three flaws you have to work on?
I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist because I'm honestly not. My room is messy, like my life can be messy because nothing is truly perfect. One of your guests said that earlier, and I completely agree. I think it was the professor. I'm just really hard on myself, right? Growing up in a Caribbean family of high achievers, I would describe it as, it's very hard to give yourself room for grace, which is kind of crazy because I went to theology school and grace is the entire portion of theology, but um I'm just trying to be more graceful towards myself and to others I would honestly say my next fault is just being quick to cut people off when they don't align with my values right away. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to waste my time or yours. I'm trying to learn to be more patient in that way. And I would say my last flaw is I definitely could be more outgoing, as you mentioned, like doing like more things, putting myself more out there. I feel like I've honestly not had a serious relationship since 2017 because I guess he's going to be mail ordered, right? So even this step
What you say?
tonight,
He's gonna be what?
he's gonna be mail ordered. He's gonna come to my doorstep, right?
Oh,
So it's like I need to be more, put more works behind my faith, right? Faith without works being dead. So definitely not just saying something, but standing on it. So I would say those are my three flaws just off the top.
okay. And why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
I am very loving. I'm very considerate. I love to do acts of service, which is my love language. So if it's the kind of man who feels most appreciated when something is being done for him, then I'm your person. I'm very, I would say, intellectual, having like my full range of educational background. I could talk about the vast majority of things. So I think you would just know that he has someone who's committed to him, who's going to be wanting to raise his children, who's going to want to be in a committed marriage, who's going to want to have a life of substance for our grandchildren and our great grands and all that stuff. So I'm very generational in that sense.
Generational in that sense. Let's do it. Oh, you gave me your 31. Is there an age range you want to date?
Yes, I actually like younger men. So I would do from 25 up to 45.
Okay. And does he have to be in Florida?
Preferably, preferably South Florida because South and North Florida are very different. But if he's not in South Florida, as long as he's able to travel, I'm open to like Atlanta. I go to Atlanta pretty often. I used to live in Philly. I'm open to Philly. Just like major cities. I don't really see myself being with someone from the Midwest, but I'm open, right? So,
Okay. Let's do it, Tia. Tia, Florida, no kids, a Virgo, 31, works in telecommunications. She is about the Lord, child, celibacy until marriage, would like to be fine, tall, make at least 80K, have no kids. And you
yes.
must love the Lord and cannot be an atheist.
Hmm.
Also, be willing to not go out or cook on Fridays and church on Saturdays.
Yes.
Is that a deal breaker if he doesn't agree to that?
With the Sabbath, because I'm so serious about observing it, our lives would be significantly easier. Like I have a lot of people in my church who obviously observe the Sabbath and their partner goes to church on Sunday. I just don't envision that for myself. So I don't even want to like
Meet a man on Friday night that's doing that.
I'm sorry, Kendra, did you
I
say?
said meet a man Friday night or Saturday at church.
Yeah. I'm literally at this point, hopefully, if anyone from my church would have seen this, I'm like, oh, Sister Tia, you looking for a man? I got somebody for you.
Yes, if y'all know somebody, please, he has to be fine. That's not non-negotiable.
Yes, and he has to be tall.
Fine. Give me an example of fine for you.
Do you know Rome Flynn?
Let's look up Rome Flynn. I don't know who he is, but let me look him up. Rome Flynn, what is that? Is he a celebrity?
Yes,
And what does he do as a celebrity?
he's an actor.
He's an actor. And it's Rome, Rome,
Yes.
Flynn?
Hmm.
Okay. Girl, this the man? Let me show him to the people. He gotta look like him.
I mean, that's fine, fine. Like that's like triple fine. I mean, I'm just starting from the very top, the tippity top, and then we can work our way down.
This is who he gotta look like.
Minus the tattoos. I'm not too big on tattoos, but he's fine. He could pass. If Rome ever wanted to talk to me, holla. We'll get past your tattoos. That's fine.
Is there another example? This is a perfection man.
He's fine. I can't help it, Kendra. He's really, really attractive. Another example. There's that guy who's in the Oval. I can't remember his name, but like the chocolate one who's been talking to Priscilla. I can't remember his name, but he's absolutely gorgeous too.
So if
Um,
these men are not on that fine level, you wouldn't want to date.
Not necessarily. I can't think of like a more regular looking human. Like, oh,
This is like,
Tyler.
okay, you guys gotta realize he is a top tier human. Like,
Yeah, he's fine. Yes. I just had to pray the prayer, Lord, I see what you've done for others. When I look at him, I'm just like, oh, be still my soul. Yes, girl. But outside of him, it's like, okay, so like Tyler from
Tyler P?
no, Tyler from Quinta's show.
I don't know.
He used to be on Everybody Hates Chris. I can't remember his last name.
Tyler, everybody hates Chris.
Like he's like fine to me. But then I know
The guy that everybody hates Chris. So him.
yes.
Okay.
See, that's kind of like it's not quite Rome Flynn, but you know.
Yeah, he's not fine to me. He's famous to me. I don't know if he would be fine if he wasn't famous, but okay, I get what you're saying. All right. Well, okay, Tia, you keep me posted how it goes, honey.
I will.
Okay. All right. Bye, baby girl.
And